Okay, so now we are at the point where we're going to get on our other little device here. You go ahead and grab my remote for the camera, if you guys don't mind. All right, so here we are here, and I'm probably gonna have to move this bike out a little bit more. There. Yeah. Anyway. So, as I was saying before, this bike here, it's been very, it's been very sad. Paid a lot of money for it, and for whatever reason, the pedal snapped off. But I'm not going to keep harping on that. I have an alternate, right? So, let's go ahead and set this up. We're going to do about 10 minutes of this. So, where was I? Oh yeah, so it generally doesn't snow in the South, as you know, and the end of my video on the treadmill, I showed you what it looks like outside, and it's got some dust and the snow, and you know, a lot of people, they kind of use that, I mean, I'm just going to call it what it is, as an excuse to not move, the excuse to sit on the couch and eat pizza and cake and cookies and pie and all that stuff, you know. Well, I can't do nothing. It's you know, it's, the weather's bad. It's too hot. It's too cold. It's always too something. But the reality is, all you gotta do is get up and start moving. Really. You know, I mean, the amount of times you walk back and forth to the refrigerator. You know, I mean, I couldn't count that as exercise, but that shows you have the ability to move. And if you want to keep that ability, you got to expound on that ability. You got to do some physical, laborious stuff. Not too laborious, but just enough to get your blood pumping. All right, so I'm going to adjust the resistance on here, which is on my right side. Put that at a 2. It started as a 1. And there's even an elevation on here, on this side, left side. All right, let's see what that does. Ooh, put a 2. Oh, okay, you guys probably can't hear it, but I heard the motor crank up like this, you know, zzz, raising up. So, anyway, so now one thing about this device here, right? So, you know, I have a trick knee on my right side, and I know that. So you got to really be careful with this stuff. You got to know your body pretty well. I remember when I worked out with a trainer a while ago, you know, many years ago, and I was looking for a trainer rather, and I had a guy, you know, he was a little bit younger than I am, and basically he asked me, hey, do you have any injuries? You know, like back, knees, and all this kind of stuff. And at the time, I had no injuries. So I figured out he asked me that because he wanted to know if basically there were some things he had to be aware of so he could take that into account during the training session, you know, and basically know how hard he could push me versus, you know, and then methods and stuff like that that he could utilize for people with injuries. So, needless to say, I got some injuries now, right? You know, we can't stay young forever. At least not on this side, I think. So basically, what I do is, since I know myself so well, I know my right knee is a little tricky sometimes. I kind of check in with myself, check in with my body, right? Like, okay, how do my shoulders feel? Because, you know, I got a little shoulder issue too from time to time, and a little lower back issue. I mean, wow, I feel like, what am I, a mummy or something? I must be broken down, wrapped up in bandages or something. But anyway, I do have a few injuries here, but I still don't use that as an excuse to lay around and do nothing, because things can and will get a lot worse if you do that. So do not lay around and do nothing. All right, so I'm gonna crank up the elevation a little bit more. I put a little 3 on it. The resistance is on a 3 as well. Okay, so as I was saying, basically, you have to get up, you have to move around. That's just the way your body's made. Okay, so moving around, whether it's walking, whether it's, playing golf, going for a walk, whatever the case may be, you have to get in the habit of doing that. Because here at Joe Bloe's Fitness, we don't believe in just sitting around all day. Because we understand that the body just wasn't made to do that. We're made to move, to enjoy life. I mean, think about this, right? In history, we know about explorers who explored the world. If you look at people that came over to California, panned for gold, the 49ers and all that kind of different stuff, which is, a team named after that, right? NFL. But if you look at all these people exploring, doing things, they couldn't do that from the comfort of their own home, could they? I doubt it, right? So that tells you, that's one of the things that tells you right off the way, that right off the bat, that, hey, I gotta move, I gotta do some stuff. If your body, becomes accustomed to sitting around, I don't know about some of you, but I got a job where I sat at a desk all day, literally. And I used to have a more active job, but, due to injuries and all that, I have to get something where I sit at the desk. I get to walk around a little bit, but for the most part, it's a sedentary job. So that in turn leads to a sedentary lifestyle. So with that being stated, your body, I don't want to say becomes accustomed to sitting around, but the reality is, let's just say you mentally get accustomed to sitting around, where the thought, the very thought of actually exercising is, disgusting to you, right? So you don't want that, because your body is going to start locking up. You might get away with it when you're in your 20s. You might even get away with it in your 30s. But once you hit that 40, your body's going to start telling on you, flat out. You're going to moved to get up, to light yourself another cigarette, or, grab another donut out the box at work. And you're going to hear this crack, crack, crack. Oh, what was that? That was my knees. That was my back. All that different stuff, all right? And that's because your body's not used to moving anymore. You've trained it to be, comfortable sitting around all day. And the way to get out of that is right here. If you're here and you're actually moving with me today, you're on your way, to snapping out of that sedentary lifestyle. A lot of, I guess they call them white collar jobs, right? A lot of people in this country, United States, just in case you guys don't know where I'm at. A lot of people, a lot of employees, white collar jobs, and which basically means a desk job. Now, I came from the blue collar, some time back, long time back. In fact, that's how I got most of my injuries. So, hard labor, climbing telephone poles, hanging up cable wire, phone wire, all that kind of stuff, right? Being careful not to get electrocuted, crawling through attics, crawling up underneath homes to run cable, phone line, telecommunications, video, internet, DSL, all that kind of stuff. That's, my younger years, that's just what I did. I had to put bread on the table, and it, got me out. So anyway, needless to say, because of all that labor that I was doing, I wasn't and the fact that I was younger, I wasn't as hard pressed to go to the gym, you know, or work out because I was kind of getting a workout. But, you know, I mean, at least it's better than sitting on the couch. I'll put it to you like that. So I'm sitting at a desk all day. So anyway, needless to say, here I am today. I'm not doing that kind of work anymore. So you have to be very careful once you, you know, get one of those type of jobs. Right? You have to make sure that you get some type of movement in your life, consistent movement. You don't have to be a marathon runner, but you must be consistent. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and move over to our treadmill here.